Ah! 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 This is Naughty Monet with lips of fucking flame. Lips of flame. Mwah. And my lips are a flame. Boy, have I got a double dander story for you for today. Okay, so first I stopped at the Pond of Poison. Unfortunately, that's the best I can do for now. I hope you know what place I'm talking about. It has a pond of poison. It's near a pond of poison. It's like a fake pond. It's on not the La Veranda. It's on La Dupanda. La Dupond. La Dupanda. The Pond of Poison. It's right next to the Pond of Poison. Anyway, I think it sits on the Pond of Poison. Okay, so anyway, we stopped at the Pond of Poison. Well, because they're the Pond of Poison. Anyway, we got there, same thing, like all Asians to the back. I felt like I was in that 1965 movie with Gene Hackman. I miss him in Superman. Don't you love him as Lex Luthor? Wait a sec. Okay, I'm getting off track. Okay, so anyway, I go in and a little before 7:30, so I arrived there a few minutes early. I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes early. I don't know if the doors are locked. And then all these cars start gathering. And of course, these employees start coming. All of a sudden, not when I was there. And then all these cars start parking around me and then honking and driving in circles around me. And remember, there's no way they can track me. Even if there was a tracker, that's what I mean. For example, if there was a tracker on my car, which there still might be, you know, they won't be able to, yeah, I still don't think, or they definitely wouldn't be able, from what I've heard from experts, but so anyway, I go there, and so I decided to go in there early. Nobody else is in there. And again, instead of turning their backs to me to show me, they admire me. Anyway, they're staring at each other, about to kiss, from far away. I mean, I'm sure they have security cameras, so they were told to look at each other and almost like French each other. And I looked over, and they were told to ignore me, and they did. I'd say like 10 minutes, nobody came out. And I don't know, I guess it's because it's before open. I don't know if they would have came and greeted, another, lowly customer, a real patient, or customer, or a patron, or a pirate. Anyway, I go inside and I sit in the lobby, and all of a sudden, the same boring stuff, because they can yet refuse to be unlazy and exciting, and, well, I guess there's nothing that they're left with. They don't want to think of anything else. I guess they kind of can't, short of murder, Anyway, a line starts coming in, screaming, yelling. Later on, a baby is squeezed, told to be made uncomfortable. Make it really cold, make it really hot. They always did the allergy and asthma too. Center. Anyway, a lot fake long line forms. And remember, I have something, a good point I make that everybody else says. So please help me and everybody else, other victims, find this out. So anyway, they all come in. Well, there was this, not a receptionist, she was at the desk. And, she didn't say anything to me the whole time. And, you know, I didn't really mind that. But anyway, I don't know if she would have done that with another patient. Probably staying there for 10 or 20 minutes. And I don't know if she would have greeted another patient. Probably would have, but she was told not to do it with me because, you know, look, I'm Asian. Anyway, yeah, so I figure she checked me in because a lot of times the spy, and this is why she did it, like every time I would come in at my other, my other doctor's offices, like Allergy and Asthma Center, from the parking lot when I would walk in, they would say, oh, I checked you in. You know, I think they expected me to ask her that, and I didn't. Because, you know, I know what they're doing, and I figured she checked me in. And if she didn't, you know, if they're trying to mark me as late, I'm going to be like, no, I was here, you know. I would have been like, I thought she was supposed to talk to me because, you know, any other customer, I'm guessing she would. And then these group of girls were looking over the wall with a serious look on their face, and then they disappeared, and then a couple doors slammed. And, but we never spoke later. They didn't help me anyway, so, like it wasn't their job anyway. And then, yeah, all this fake line forms, and they're like, oh, I'm this and I have an appointment, I have this, all of a sudden. Now remember, 12 hours ago, they set up an appointment. They had no idea I was coming, because I didn't. How do you, there's not enough time, and even everybody said customer service, Anthem, everybody says this. Department of Justice, you know, all these big fancy offices, they say, yeah, that's right. That doesn't make any sense. There is no way they can schedule all these patients in 12 hours after I come. 12 hours early. Wait a second. I don't know, it was late morning, early afternoon I came. I would say so, maybe 17, 18 hours. So the first time I went there was Tuesday, day after Labor Day. I drove out there to schedule a consultation at this place. And they said the next morning, you know, around, you know, 7:45, 8, you know, be there. Or they open 7:30. And I was like, okay. And now I realize, I just thought they were doing it just to, you know, so I'd keep my mouth shut, like a, you know, a dirty little bribe, dirty, weak little bribe. And it was more than that. Later I thought about it because I had no idea. Remember I said all those stalkers outside in the parking lot that were there when I came in and left? They had no idea I was coming either. And I'll tell you just how nuts they are and mentally ill. It doesn't surprise me though. Because I thought they were doing this way before I realized it yesterday. And then I realized, okay, it was technology. You know. Because everybody said they're so desperate and stuff. They're waiting for you in parking lots and they have no idea where you are. Well, it turns out, I don't think it was, I think it was like license plate tracking and facial recognition. Because I wasn't wearing the blinding that blinds the hell out of them. They're reflecting, they're infrared, like security camera reflecting glasses that blinds them. So I figured it was that. Just a few months ago, I figured that out again. Well, I always suspected it, and then I went back and thought, nah. And then it turns out it is that. And anyway, so okay, so yeah, the day after Labor Day, Tuesday, the first time I go in to schedule a consultation, I decided not to do it over the phone. Because this guy I talked to, he said, and a couple of other girls I talked to, they said, oh, I wouldn't talk on the phone. They're in your system. I go, oh, no, they're not hacking my system. And they said, I wouldn't use technology like a phone. And I probably had like a dozen people tell me that. They go, oh, I wouldn't use even if it's not. They go, I wouldn't use a phone or do anything on the internet. I would just go to the place and just schedule an appointment there. I was like, yeah, I'm lazy. And they're like, yeah, that's what I would do. They said, oh, I would just go out and drive around and just find somewhere. you know. I was like, okay, I'll try it next time. Because I kind of thought about it. I was like, I'm lazy. I was like, I felt like it's not going to make a difference. I was like, because there's no way they can hear it. Because I have so much noise and they're not hacking my phone. So it's a waste of gas. But anyway, I thought, okay, well, I'm bored and I'm liking, you know, the adventures this month. And I'm really sad it's coming to a close. No, I really don't. Hopefully it won't. And, because it hurts them, not me. But anyway, I was just thinking of this summer. Okay, okay, so anyway, I go there. I'm trying to think of where I was. Okay, so yeah, she said 7:30 the next morning. I was like, okay. And yeah, like I said, I thought it was a dirty bribe. And as part of it, and I realized, oh, it's because they're hoping, you know, Nadia's she wakes up stupid and she becomes even more naive, and she thinks, oh, how, you know, they're real patients, because how would she have scheduled, how would this receptionist have had time to schedule and pull in all these fake patients or whatever inside at the same time as Nadia to harass her less than 24 hours later, which is today, Wednesday. And you know, and that's the only reason why she scheduled it to, not for me out of being nice to me, because why would they be doing this anyway? Anyway, as a bribe to keep my mouth shut, and, oh, to try and throw me off the scent of all of them, the dirty staff, that, hey, you know, hey, we didn't have time, you know, look, you know, that's why they scheduled it one day later, because they knew if they schedule it 2 or 3 weeks out later, Nadia's gonna post that, hey, you know, they had all this time to rearrange the schedule. Of course, it's one more believable thing. You know, that gives us ample time to schedule fake patients, real, whatever, all only around Nadia. You know, and we're going to look even more, you know, fuck, stupid, and guilty than we already do. And so we're going to go ahead and schedule her the next day to throw her off. So she won't know that, you know, so she won't know that, you know, we're involved. We're helping the stalkers. They want to look separate, like they don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm telling you, yeah, that's what happened yesterday. So anyway, my point is today, the second day, second time I go in, this is the day of the consultation. It's like 7:30 in the morning, 8 in the morning. And again, check the logins. They purposely made me wait, I don't know, 1.5, 2 hours. And I had an appointment and they didn't. And like I said, they can't schedule all these stalkers coming in less than 24 hours later, like in 14, 16 hours. So who are they? Like I said, what are they there for? Why are they there? Are they even real patients? When did they make their last appointment? When did they make this current appointment that they're here for? Why are they here? What's the reason they're here? And are they even real patients, and blah, blah, blah. See my blog and read the rest of those good questions. And they're all helped first. And they don't even have an appointment. They're claiming to. And it's fake. And then even after they're all helped, so they ignore me for like another half hour. And then they're playing, again, suicide songs. They're somehow putting in like a rerun of suicide, a commercial, stuff like that in the TV. And then from out of the hallway, there comes some screaming kid running back and forth. And the mom is smiling. And then some I don't know, some big lady walks in. And of course she has a toddler. She has like a little toddler. It doesn't look like a newborn baby. And he's just yelling the whole time. And, you know, she's just walking back and forth in front of me, you know, trying to, they can't stab you. So the next thing they'll do is like, they'll try and like brush up against you. And if you don't do anything, they're going to hit you in the head. And if you don't do anything, they're going to punch you. And if you don't do anything, they're going to strangle you. And, you know, they're going to think they can get away with it. So I stop that before it happens. And, anyway, and then some other lady came in And they always start coming in, and you can feel their stupidness, their stupidity, and their embarrassment, because you can tell that they're like, oh, we're not trying to get close to you. We are. Oh, we're trying to hide that, we're on top of you. Oh, no, we're not. We're trying to stay a good length away from you. Oh, no, we're not. And I had passwords in my purse, and I think this lady saw them. She's like looking in my purse, and the staff knows, and they're like, I quickly closed my purse. She's like looking in my purse behind me, trying, getting close to me, because she can't stab me or punch me without going to prison. And anyway, well, that was that part of history. But anyway, get my days mixed up. Feels like one whole appointment. Anyway, and this other lady comes in, and she keeps doing. She sits in front of me, and her back is turned to me, and I see her like moving her arms, and every time she does it, the baby's going. It sounds like she's like doing something to his respiratory. And I like looked around, and the whole staff was gone, and she did it like every 3 minutes for like 15 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't even carry cell phone with me or anything. I was wondering if the baby's alive at that point. Baby squeezers, and the staff knows about this. They're telling her to do it, or she's telling them at Home Depot, Walmart, and the Scuzz, Springfield, Glen neighbors. They're saying annoying Audia. That's how much we care about her. We love her. We don't love the baby. Like, we're choosing Audia over the baby, which is sad. I feel sorry for that baby. Anyway, yeah, so that was happening. I mean, can someone find out who she is? And visit her house and make sure the baby's okay? Anyway, I don't even know if she's a patient there. And then, and then some other girl was standing there, and they kept talking, and some other girl standing and talking to the receptionist, all again to be close to me and try and annoy. That's what they're trying to do. If they can't get someone to babble on and on nonstop with me, and to try and bother me, which doesn't bother me, because I'm used to asking a lot of questions myself, and they always end up annoying themselves. When they can't try and annoy me one-on-one, they'll use somebody else and keep babbling on and on, screaming, yelling, laughing. And she kept looking back at me. I think it was a teenager, probably maybe in her 20s or something. She was standing, screaming, laughing with the receptionist, and they sounded like animals. Again, they're talking about immigration, this, that. Again, Donald Trump, about election, what is it, this year? Oh, they hope he runs, and then they're quiet, and then they're looking at me sometimes, and then, I didn't care, and then they're saying something about how they went to a Vietnamese restaurant, that girl, and then she said she thought it was an Indian restaurant. And she said, well, the food didn't taste good anyway, and that the chicken had a leg bone and slime all over it, and how Indians and Vietnamese, how they can't cook it. They think I'm Indian. And India's right next to Pakistan. I think it's completely different cultures, but she was like, oh, well, they don't, just stuff that didn't make sense. Just that a chicken leg bone in a water, and it had like, I don't know, a little piece of fat on it, or not that much meat. They don't know how to cook it. And then they both looked at me. She turned around, she stared at me. I was like, this is the most stupidest conversation I've ever heard. I'm like, so this is supposed to make me, I'm like, it's not. And at home, like today, like every time, I don't do it on camera. I try and stay strong here, but, I do cry, and sometimes I do throw up when I come home, because it's so hurtful, that, just because we don't have average, boring, dull looks, dull brown hair, dull brown eyes, blonde hair, blue eye, just because we stand out and they don't, they look plain, and homely, and frumpy, and dumpy, just because we don't look like that, And they do, oh, they have to ignore us like that. So, yeah, I was crying for a few hours before I came on camera, I've managed to just calm down a little bit, because if I keep crying, I want to cry on cam, but, then you won't understand me like earlier. You guys, I was so angry. I had to express my feelings and let them out. You have no idea what happened before that. Oh my god. More details on that later. But anyway, I hope this is recording. Yeah, it is. You gotta remember that red is there. So anyway, they, okay, so yeah, that happens. And then, the employees, they keep stomping back and forth in front of me. And then, again, it's all copycat of Parkview. Say that to them. Ask them if you haven't already. Say, are you guys Parkview copycats and Harrison Dental copycats? And, what else? Are you also AT&T copycats and Verizon copycats? Because they all do this. And T-Mobile copycat, because they banned me from T-Mobile too. And inside the stores. And AT&T, I think one of them. So anyway, it's like, are you guys all copycats? Yeah, I'm so used to going to doctor's offices lately, So if I say that first, it doesn't necessarily mean that this place is one. It could be, it might, but, that's where I've been lately a lot. So, anyway, I've been doing the hashtags with them lately. Hopefully I'll remember and I'll make more hashtags with AT&T, Copycat, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, stuff like that. Culver's, Panda Express. Anyway, yeah, but I say Parkview because, that was the first place, that was a place I was going to a lot. The first place I went to a lot when the stalking started. So that's why I say Parkview copycat, because I should say Home Depot copycat because it originated there. But after Home Depot and Walmart, like a place besides a place I don't work, the first business that I go to a lot is Parkview Physicians Group. So that's why I say Parkview copycat. Because all the businesses after that, they make sure to do that. And then they're trying to act like, oh, we're not copying Parkview. Oh, yeah, we are. We want you to know. Oh, no, back up. We don't want you to know. For the sole purpose of saving our asses, because we don't want you to tell anyone. Hence, mental illness. Anyway, so anyway, they go, why aren't the police being called? And then, oh, and by the way, there were like a couple of like big boom gunshots where the floor kind of shook. I was like, I don't know. It didn't sound like a firecracker. Maybe it was. But I was like, it's the same stuff they do here in Springfield. Sometimes they'll make gunshots when I get to the bottom of my stairs. Or if I'm watching TV or if I'm picking up some food off the plate. It's not a coincidence. And this isn't a coincidence. And, yeah. And it'll be like from like 500 feet away. Like the next, that Newland Drive. When I take out the trash and you see that in those next row of houses with Lonely Lady and everything. And, yeah, it comes from there. Probably beyond. Yonder also. And, anyway, so, where was I? Yeah, so we're talking about that. And, yeah, the employees are stomping back and forth in front of me, copying Allergy and Asthma Center, too. And, they're purposely ignoring me, coming out, looking, staring at me, and slamming stuff. And, then they, I think everyone's gone by this point, hiding in the exam room, screaming this, that. And then finally, an employee comes out, and she's told to be like a grumpy grouch with me. She's later asking me in the office, so what kind of piss do you like? They say that like to try and gain our trust, and it never works on me, which makes them more mad. All as an excuse to insult us and hurt our feelings and make us cry. fill up the bathtub in our tears and bathe in it with bubbles. Anyway, I said no, and she said, would you, if you had a pet, what kind would you get? Now, I don't know if this is normal. I've never had anyone ask me that. She's doing it because she has contact with Home Depot. They told her to do that. You know, say really stupid, weird things or flat out rude, disrespectful, outrageous things that no employee would ever do. And that wasn't rude or outrageous. It's just weird. And that's what she wanted me to know. That, hey, I'm doing this because, hey, I agreed to do this for them. In exchange for a joint. For Pat. For the bag of brown. The bag of brown I did. Anyway, so she, I told her a cat, and she goes, well, why didn't you get one? Like in a rude way. That's the whole reason why she said it. So that was supposed to make me cry and commit suicide. And, I can't remember what I said. And, but I had questions. I was like, so, you know, I think when she asked me that, I was like, so can you, can you tighten this? I forgot what she was saying. And I would always go back to talking about what I was there for. I was like, so is this loose? Is it, and I don't know, I guess she seemed bothered. I lost her. I really wasn't doing it on purpose. I was really concerned about, you know, what I was asking her about, and, you know. And, she told me she watches some Gaylord show on HBO and asked me if I knew about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't have HBO. She said, what kind of shows do you watch? And I said, and she said porn, and then she laughed. And she goes, oh, I'm just joking. And I was thinking, that's extremely inappropriate for that, but, you know, I was like, oh, okay. And I said, no, I watch, like, a 90 Day Fiancé. I got a lot of reality TV. And she was like, oh. And the other thing is this safe? I think they're trying to kill me with cancer, Home Depot, Walmart, and Discuss Neighbors, by, acting like, well, also them, Home Depot, Walmart, and Discuss Neighbors, especially Home Depot, Walmart, and the business, that's why they're trying to get me fired from all these places for no reason, all for the sole purpose of going to a new dentist long enough where they take and they have to do the x-rays all over again. And I was told it's supposed to be done once every 5 years, and I've had these x-rays done on my mouth, you know, where they scan and do everything, at least 4 to 6 times since 2021. Is that safe? Is that the type of like X-ray pictures that are dangerous that cause Yeah, I think so. I think X-rays are radiation. So yeah, I think they're trying to cause me cancer. So because they make fun of my mom having lymphoma cancer, you know, so they want me to get that cancer, or I don't know, any type of cancer. And yeah, so is that, am I right? Is that a dangerous type of cancer, taking pictures all the time? And yeah, so that happened. And stupid Lakeland Dental, they purposely charged me $99 for the x-rays. I'm like, you guys knew beforehand I was at Harrison, but they're acting like they didn't. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you that I was fired. I don't care about that part. I'm not embarrassed, because then I'm going to have to explain, well, he said I made many cancel appointments. Then they're going to talk more and say, well, were you late? No. Well, can you think of any? Then it turned, you know, I'm just there for the service. I just don't want to talk. It just elongates a conversation. You know, people, and you know, especially doctors' offices, we want in and out. You know, that's how I feel. You know. Anyway, we're not on a couch here with Dr. Marlena Evans, you know. So anyway, and you know, so anyway, I go there, and because yeah, she's asking this and that, and then she's asking, oh, are you from around here? I said no, thank God. And she frowned, and she goes, oh, you know, what country are you from? Again, that's what they're always asking, what country are you from? I said, I don't know, here. And she's like, oh, she didn't say anything. And then we're going through, she's talking about treatments and stuff. And when I ask, she's purposely sounding confusing. And when I try and clarify it, she's like, you know, and grumpy grouch. And then, you know, we do the x-rays. And then she says, turn and face the wall. And they purposely crowded it where I couldn't turn to the side, barely, because the wall is right there and my knees can't go behind the wall, or else my face will be cut off from the picture. And my knees would have to go over the side of my knees. If I turn to the side, I'd have to go over the wall, you know. And they're trying to show me, hey, we're blocking you. So she did that, and she doesn't do that with other patrons. And we did more tests, and then I went, and then we did that. I got back in, you know, the doc, you know, we talked more, and then when the doctor came in, you know, he's just really short, and it's not the doctor of love. Believe me, it's not the doctor of love. Anyway, and I think he was told to make fun of my knees because to show that he's in on it. And people say, yeah, he shouldn't do that. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm telling it to you guys. I want you to really see how these doctors' offices, how these retail stores, how these restaurants, how they act. I want you to see the underground, the shady, sneaky, underhanded, dirty, druggy world they really live in. Bribes, this, that, harassing, trying to drive patients to suicide, and their suicide assisters and stuff. And anyway, he was like, he pretended to have a fake conversation with the lady when she brought him in when I was waiting. And, well, before they came in, while I was waiting, the nurses were screaming and yelling, talking, again, immigration talk. And then whenever I got up, again, they have hidden cameras. Whenever I got up and I looked at my pictures, they would stop. And then they'd start screaming again. Or they would stand in the doorway and just say, yeah, you know, acting rude and stupid to make sure, I didn't mind it, but to make sure she knows we're acting rude and stupid, you know, because we're doing a Parkview copycat, you know, and we learned it from them. They told us to do that. More practice, guys. Oops, I mean girls. Anyway, they're doing that the whole time. And every time I turned my head and stuff, they would do that too. So they have hidden cameras in there. Anyway, the first lady I was dealing with, I was talking to, she, they're also playing suicide songs from the hallway while they're screaming and yelling. Anyway, another Parkview copycat, and allergy and asthma copycat. Anyway, she came in and, you know, with this doctor who isn't the doctor of love. And, he goes, oh, you know, you put this here, you know, that's not good for my knees. And he's trying to confuse me. Oh, by making me think, does he know? Is he involved? Is he? Isn't he? Is he? Isn't he? Isn't? Isn't he? Is he? Because he didn't say injured knees. Because I have a really multiple injuries in one leg. One of them's a knee injury. And he said, oh, my knees. That's what stalkers say sometimes, and they'll stare at me to make sure I know that, you know, how pathetic, desperate, self-humiliating, and debasing they are by showing me that, hey, you know, it's like they're pointing out, hey, look, I had twins. Look at this stretch mark. Is this stretch mark littler than and then them acting proud of it. Nobody believes that you're proud. That's the same equivalence of what they're doing. Anyway, but hey, that's a compliment. And, you know, because I would never do that. I don't want people knowing that I'm jealous of them. But I'm never jealous. Honestly, I'm not a jealous person. I would never act that way anyway. Because honestly, I'm not jealous of people like that. I'm a rare breed. I'm not jealous of other women. And, so anyway, so we're talking, and, he was saying he does things a certain way, and he was like, oh well, they do it this way, but I do it that way. And I don't know if it's considered yelling, but or if he's trying to scare me, if he's being more rude to me than other patients, or if that's just the way he talks. I don't know, because people say, non-doctors of love, they're mean, you know, and even salespeople are mean, retail, restaurant, they're also mean too, and I wasn't understanding at first. And he was saying that, yeah, he does things a different way, and that I would have to go to another doctor, because this certain I'll call him Shorty. This not the non-doctor of love, this first one I was seeing, the one at the pond of poison, and the poison pond, the pond of poison. Anyway, Shorty, he was telling me that I would have to go to a doctor and give him clearance to be able to move some boulders around, and he noticed some type of thinning in one, and in the top part of me, and to get it checked out to make sure he can move around some boulders, you know and he says he does that with all of his patrons. And I was like, okay. And the whole thing, you know what, that son of a bitch, Busick, he shouldn't have been closing my gaps with rubber bands, because that's the old school way. And he didn't even finish. And this doctor told me, even after he terminated you, he was supposed to still tell you about your treatment, what to do. He wasn't supposed to, leave like that. And he said, and it's not good to wear retainers 24/7 with rubber bands. He shouldn't have had you do that. He should have told you. I was like, oh my God. I go, well, I'm not getting any hold from him. Well, okay, the top one I am. I don't know if, the bottom one, I mean, it doesn't fall out. It feels a little loose. I mean, the lady said, you are getting some hold, so they're not like slipping off, but they're not like perfect. They don't fit well. And, I don't want to get into the story of Busick, this, that. I said it was years ago I had braces, and I have had braces on twice. And I said I don't remember the name, because again, the lost can, I just want to get in and out. And then, the doctor asked how old, were my retainers. And I just said a couple years ago, and it was really 3 months ago. Because then they're going to say, oh, go back to a doctor. I'm like, well, I can't. Oh, yeah, we got into that later. I just didn't care. He asked me, or I asked him if he could tighten them. And so did the other lady. And he was saying, oh, well, this particular one, he said you would have to go back there and have him tighten it. And he said, can you? And then he said, can you go back there? I said no. And he said, he said, oh, he said, why, And I said, that he was doing something. I don't think I can say that here. Maybe later on I will. He was doing something, and with the contract, and I already signed it. I was like, no, I'm not. It's not gonna be changed. And he kept, he's trying to change it, and because that's a big part of it. And he was like, oh, and he goes, I was just so confused about. He said he could align my teeth. He said Busick does things differently than him. He said he could align my teeth with aligners, fix that stuff. He kept saying, I just want I might not be able to close all gaps. Like the little, like the little triangle shape at the bottom of your tooth. I go, that's what I thought. But he told me closing gaps. And I said, that's what I was thinking, that those can't be closed at the bottom. But I said, I'm talking about the long, skinny ones, the one that starts at the top of a tooth. He goes, now those I can close. He goes, yeah. And he said, I can move teeth around. So I don't need braces. But I thought Invisalign or aligners I thought they were the next best thing to rubber bands. He says rubber bands are good. He said I don't move gaps with and I don't know if that's what he talks or if he's being mean, but he goes he said if he's just telling me, he goes I don't move he goes I don't move gaps with rubber bands. He goes I use braces or uh aligners. And I thought aligners were like still things that you tie around. I thought I'd still have to wear retainers, and it was something you'd still have to tie around the retainer like a rubber band, only it's not a rubber band. And then they showed me it's a clear thing. I was like, oh, I think I saw commercials of those many years ago. And I think I would have to. He said you'd have to change them every few months, and I was like, okay, and the price is like 35 grand. And I was wondering why is it so high? Because I thought it was like rubber bands, like Busick. And I realized, oh my God, are aligners like considered the clear version of braces, like without the wires? I think that's what it is. That's what, so it's like braces. And my point is that's what Home Depot, Walmart managers, the supervisors, even the low-level cashier employees, even the pharmacy, and the pharmacy, ooh, when I worked there, they would segregate the lines. They would make two separate lines, one with me alone, one with Amish people and everybody else. And I would be there first. And the Walmart pharmacy, they were told to ignore me and start with people cutting in the next line. But I would cut them right. I would walk and start talking to the pharmacist and interrupting them. I would always do that. I would interrupt them and start talking. Anyway, that's another story. But yeah, spit on that pharmacy with rain. Anyway, yeah, I wonder how they would feel from Walmart Maysville and the cold water one. If them and their kids are, yeah. Anyway, so do that to them if you want. Anyway, so okay, back to what I was saying. Back to this story. So many. And we talked about it, and that's how much it's gonna cost. And then they're all screaming the whole time outside. And anyway, he said he said yeah, so I would have to go to a dentist and have them give him the okay. They have to okay it, and then I can start with the teeth. But that's the first step. And then I was talking to a girl. She purposely is trying to confuse me and make me ask her questions. And I asked like one or two, but it looked like she wanted me to ask her more because she was being really confusing to the point where, you know, a person would ask a lot more. And when I did ask a couple, I just didn't want to talk anymore. I was like, I won't figure it out myself. I'll just tell them I did something, and then I'll force them into asking me. And then that's when I'll... Anyway, you know, it sounded confusing. I was like, so I called the dentist, and, you know, I go, so am I supposed to call Marie? And she said, you do. And then she said something like, I can send him a referral. I was like, how does this go? Who needs a contact who? I didn't say that, but I was like, I'm just going to go to a dentist, tell them about the bone loss, and then they can contact, because she said they have to contact, the dentist has to contact them back and something like that. And I was like, okay. And anyway, she was like, talking like that, and grumpy grouch. And anyway, so I did that, and I was like, okay, well, let me go. And I was so excited. I ended up going right next door to Summit Dental. And nearby, across the non-pond of peace, I went to Summit Dental. That was nearby, and they're not in the network, and it would have cost over $100. And she's saying go to Harrison, they're in the network. I was like, no, I go, I don't like them. And she looked surprised. And she goes, you can do out of network, and you know, we can. I didn't even know if she's scheduling me for the right thing. She was later on. When I heard Lakewood Dental did the same thing. But anyway, I was like, yeah, okay. Tomorrow 1 o'clock. I thought I won't get anything that earlier than that. Anyway, so I was willing to go to Summit Dental and do that. And so anyway, I went in there, and anyway, I left. And when I left, all these cars again on nearly ran me over. Some were honking, driving in circles again, copying, Walmart, Home Depot. And then I got out of there, and there were more stalkers when I left the lobby. At the pond of poison. And anyway, so we did all that, and I ended up making an appointment and going to Lakewood Dental, where they're so ghetto and stuff. It looks like a former tap dancing studio, and it has a weird, bad smell. Anyway, the whole time, they're causing a riot outside in front, screaming, yelling. They're pounding the window that I was sitting behind, and the employees were screaming on the phone. Right when I walked in. Now my point is Busick. Okay, this first place I went to today, and number 2, the dentist, Lakewood Dental. They all knew that I was fired probably before I knew that Busick fired me. I think July 27th. I had no idea till like a week later when I read the letter. Anyway, so they all knew, and remember, they can't track me, so they're waiting like dogs, torturing themselves and causing themselves suffering and misery, which is awesome. And they knew Naughty is going to have to come here because, again, Medicaid. Most dental places don't take Medicaid. So it's easy for them. Not easy, but it's narrows it down more of where they can hang around and stalk. And why aren't these businesses calling? They need mental help. Why aren't they calling the police? Anyway, my point is even if they knew I was coming, which they didn't because I didn't, there's no way, once again, just like the other place, there's no way to schedule appointments at the same time as I come in. Well, number 1, they don't know I'm coming in. Number 2, they've been waiting for me to come in there for 45 days since July 27th. I think they thought that Naughty is going to go to a brand new orthodontics like that. I was thinking of it just recently, like last week, because I was trying to fight to get back to force Busick into doing his job. So that wasn't even on my radar, brand new orthodontics, and it was to them. So they've been stalking and lurking around and getting permission from these dentist offices and other orthodontics just to hang around and stalk to make, and then they're having the neighbor. I know this is crazy and obsessive, and it's doable. This is the only way because they can't track me. They can't hear my phone calls or anything. And that one time, yesterday when I went there for a consultation, they were acting like, oh, we knew. No, you didn't know I was coming. That's not the first time. My point is, that's not the first time they've acted like this by waiting for me. They've been waiting like this, like yesterday, since July 27th. That's what they're doing. And my point is they can't make the schedule out. That even if when they make the schedule out 45 days early or the same day I come in, and they have no notice, I walk in without an appointment. Stalkers, fake patients are already there. And so my point is they can't be patients because they're not, the staff isn't psychic, and they're not that good. They're not that good. They're just not good at at this game they're playing. I'm the master. I'm the number 1 trophy in that. They can't even play it. They're failures at their own games they created. Anyway, yeah, so who are these people? Why are they there? What are they there for? Are these real, patrons? Anyway, so when I go in there, there's one girl there and she's staring, giving me a scowl to make sure I know she was planted there to serve as a witness that, hey, walkie-talkie, hey, she came to this one. Naughty's here. So she can, And then they took her to the back, I'm sure in an exam room, where, they let her text someone, hey, Nadia, you came to this one. I know Dental Care, they're on the south side of town. They had stalkers there. That's the other thing. Please, all Medicaid taking dentist businesses, please check the schedule. Seriously, even the ones, if you guys can, and prove it, show and complain to the FBI and what else? HIPAA, and definitely number one, the Attorney General. If it shows anything, even employees, tell on them. Want that promotion? Want that revenge against that employee? Now you can. Get it through me. Anyway, so, where was I? What part? So, yeah, all of a sudden, I walk in, and there's just one there, and she's like, she turns around, she's like, and, and again, they don't know I'm coming. And the parking lot is all full. I wasn't surprised by that. They're trying really, really hard to act like they knew I was coming. I'm like, you know what? It's because you didn't know. And I'm not saying that because I'm saying it. That's part of the reason, but I'm saying it because there's no way they could have known. And same boring stuff. And then when I went in, most of it's empty. So that means they're hiding in their cars or neighboring shops or businesses. And they're taking up parking spots for real customers and patients and patrons, And that's illegal, I was told, That's grounds for termination. Anyway, I go in there and there's one crazy woman looking at me. And like, you know why I'm here. And then she's there to text them, hey, Nadia's here. She's not at Dental Care. She's not at any other dentist. Hey, she came here. So they all leave at the other dentist offices since they've been manning and stalking since July 22nd or July 27th. And remember, if I would have gone there, all these stuff, that's exactly what happened here at Harrison Dental on Parnell Avenue. Then when I turn around, same thing. All of these breed of dogs, stalkers, come behind me. They're like, I'm this and none of them had appointments. And they made me wait, like, again, just like the previous place a couple hours earlier, like they were told to treat me like I'm a walk-in when I had an appointment, and they're treating all the walk-ins like they had appointments to try and make me commit suicide and feel bad. And then the whole lobby was empty. But before that, they were all staring at me. They kept looking at me, and they were pointing, and one was saying, I don't know about you, but I have all this anxiety from all this Indian food I had last night, and stupid racist anxiety. And then they're like staring at me, and they came out again. They're trying to show. See, we knew you were coming. Right when I sat down, before they started coming in, the staff made sure I knew that they had a couple stalkers stashed in the back. They came from the exam rooms, and then they were told to sit them out there with me in the lobby to harass me. And that's why they make me sit out there for a long time, so they can let stall, and let more stalkers come in more and more and harass me and try and murder me. And then they kept walking closer to me to get closer to me. They're pretending to look at something on their cell phone, and oh, should I add this or add this? And then I scooted my chair. They're getting so close, and they said, well, what crawled up your butthole and died? I didn't answer, and then they stomped out. And the staff saw this. They told them to say it. And then the staff was really rude too. The lady, she purposely threw the clipboard on the floor. She said, oh, I dropped that. I should have been like, oh. I said, oh, I can get that. And she's like, oh, okay. And she didn't say thanks or anything. And then the other lady, when I asked her a question about the insurance, she said no. I asked her if I was supposed to fill it out, She goes, no, no. Like she's trying to get me to react because there's an audience there. Now they're there to serve as witness also to make sure, bring it home to Home Depot, Walmart, and discuss neighbors, especially Walmart and Home Depot. That hey, we were witness, we saw it with our own lying eyes that hey, that employee treated her like garbage, the employee isn't just lying. Anyway, she was like, yeah, like yeah. She was, yeah, no. She was, yeah, you'll fill it out. And then she snatched the clipboard from my hand. And it kind of hurt in my fingers. And I think it caused like a crack or, like a snag in my nail. Anyway, she did that. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. I was like, okay. And then, she wanted me to ask her, say, like, oh, why are you doing it? I'm like, no, I'm not going to put on a show for you and your stalker buddies. I'm not interested. Anyway, I'm like, I just want a lollipop. They don't have any, though. Not that I would have taken one. And they weren't dropping anybody else's clipboard. And they were told to do that again to try and embarrass me and make me look like a dog and stuff. And when I turned around, that's when the whole line started coming in. And you could feel their dumbness and their stupidity and embarrassment that, you're getting nothing out of this. You never have and you never will. And that look that they have, or that feeling, that aura in the room, that when you're copying someone and it's so obvious and you're embarrassed, that's what it looked like. And I honestly, I didn't know. I thought maybe they're real patients. But I thought, no, it was dead when I came in. And all of a sudden, right when I turn around. And then they get mad when they're questioning about this. It's like they want us to know, the targets, that, hey, we're here for you. But then when they get questioned, they get mad. Anyway, which is awesome. Anyway, but I never understood this. Like, you can't have two different feelings. I'm like, so you must be mad when you show me too. But anyway, Holly, again, they're talking about Trump. That's an ongoing thing. Talking about the wall, Mexico, and saying, they're like, I don't want Mexicans here either. Yeah, I want that wall, like in a low voice. And then they're quiet and they're looking at me. I was like, I know you were told I wasn't a Mexican. Not that, there's anything wrong with being a Hispanic. I'm just saying, they're trying to throw me off. Anyway, and make me think they're not talking about me and yet they are, that crazy pun stuff. Anyway, so I, doing stuff like that. And then they're bringing, and then they brought one guy, there's a guy, he brought a baby in. And again, see, they don't want me to see it. Maybe they think I have a cell phone. They're told I don't. He was doing something with his arm. It's the same thing that lady was doing at the other business at the Poison of Pond with the lady was doing. I don't know, maybe their husband and wife, but it looked like I don't know, he's doing something to discomfort the baby to cause it to scream and cry, and you know what to do in these things. And the receptionist, they were just ignoring. And again, the noise campaign. They're screaming while they're on the phone. Again, they're to try and scare me. That's what they always do. They're all starting, and then they'll break glass. They were pounding the walls. It sounded like someone was slamming their body against the wall. I'm like, that doesn't scare me. That just hurts you. And I love it when they scream, because they're not wasting energy. They're utilizing their energy, but it's tiring them out. I'm like, hey, if you're gonna stretch and scream and pull out those vocal muscles, those vocal cords for me, and lose your voice, hey, how is that supposed to scare someone and force them into suicide? It makes me feel the complete opposite. It makes me want to live. It's an ego boost. But anyway, yeah, so that happened. And then when I went in the back, and then the whole time, they're screaming, yelling. They're screaming outside in the front, in front of the business. And then they call me, they open the door. Finally, everybody else has helped, the ones that have no appointments, and find out who they are. And they can't make, if they're going to act like, oh, we made the schedule out 4 weeks ahead of time, you know, since July 27th. Still, my point is whether they had 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months to make the schedule for today, they had no idea I was coming in. So who are those people? They're not real customers or patrons and stuff. You know, there's not enough time to make appointments, you know. And check back a month ago, there weren't this many people here all at once. They're all only around me. Okay, so anyway, ask him about it. All these things I'm telling you. And everything else before this video. Anyway, so they did that. And then this, I guess the tech called me in, or nurse or whatever. And right when I was walking in, they had these 2 girls blocking me. And I guess it's the hair thing. They're all the females are jealous since I made the hair about being bald. They weren't bald though, I don't think. Honestly, I didn't have time to look because, you know, my glasses, it's kind of, you know, it's dark, and they were blocking me, and then the nurses were laughing. And yeah, of course, you know, we were walking fast, you know, I had to, you know, I didn't even glance at them, honestly. I didn't have time anyway, not that I'm interested, but they're smiling at me like I'm a hamburger or like a succulent steak. And people have said, well, have you thought, like other girls, like at Walmart, you know, they would do that too, or they would want to get like naked in front of me. They would be told to bend over and pose like that. I was like, how long was she doing that? That must hurt. When I opened the door to the bathroom at Walmart, some employee from McDonald's was doing that, taking off her, she was holding a pose. I was like, how long were you holding that pose? I don't know. Well, I don't know if she's gay, but I thought she was straight. But I thought that lady at Walmart, who worked at McDonald's, I thought she was gonna break her back. That must have hurted. Anyway, so I think she is gay, lesbian. I don't know. I don't remember. Who cares? But anyway, yeah, people ask me, girls will ask me, well, you know, have you ever thought that maybe, you know, they like you? I was like, they're not going to tell me that. She's like, yeah, they're not going to. And yeah, that's how the girl, I mean, maybe they had crushes on me. I don't know. Not that I have a problem with it. I mean, it's flattering. It's just, you know, I don't go that way. You know, I'm a man lover through and through. I'm a man lover. I'm a man lover through and through. Anyway, they're smiling at me and of course blocking my way. And everything, these lenses, everything just looks all connected, so I have to be careful about, I have to like really watch where I'm going. Anyway, we're walking fast. I barely glanced at all of them. And then again, they're making me walk way far away. And then they make sure to scream about, you know, racism again. And again, they put these purposely loud patients and tell them to scream around me and talk again about immigration, race, this, that. And then he said it smells bad in the next room. And then I heard the tech was talking quietly, and she said, "Oh, I have this this new patient in the next room, saying it's me." And my point is again, not enough time in the schedule. They can't even schedule it because I walked in. Actually, I made an appointment, but still, I walked in. They had no time to rearrange the schedule. And my point is all of a sudden, are they real customers or patrons? I'm like, all of a sudden, on left and right of me, when I go back to the room, the dentist chair, all of a sudden they're screaming with other hygienists are screaming. They're pounding the walls of counters. And then I was in there for probably an hour and a half, and they were freezing me, trying to cause me to die. And again, to cause the stalling because they're mad about something. I don't know. I don't care. And, they know they're going to get in trouble. And so, or they're hoping I won't tell, but deep down inside they know I will. So they're trying to act like we're going to try and do as most as we can. Make the most of it. Anyway, by stalling and keeping her around to be harassed me. Anyway, and then they kept coming in the doorway and yelling and stuff. And both of the techs were so rude. I mean, they were pulling my hair. It's a short white female with red hair and glasses. Another, she says, "So what are we doing today?" And I told her about the bone law and that they would have to call my orthodontics office. And she was told to do this again, something rude, outrageous that they would never do with another customer. She's looking at me with her scrubs or mess, and she goes, she goes, like she wanted me to talk more, like get nervous and say, "Oh, why you can't sound like no, I'm quick to your game, I know this, and I don't feel like it. Again, I'm just here for the service, not the games." Anyway, she was like, "No, we don't do that." When I go, well, the lady on the phone, she said, like, they didn't tell you there or something. I go, yeah. Yeah, they did. I go, well, when I called, the girl said that, that you guys can do it. And she's like, "Oh, it sounds like she said they try and tell people what they want to hear, you know." And I don't know if that was an insult against me, but she's like, "Oh, they try and tell people what they want to hear." And then she's acting like she'd understand. She's trying to get me to beg her, "Oh, what, and I'm like, I never did that." And she, because it gives her an opening, an excuse to start a fight with me. And if I would have been like, "Oh yeah, are you gonna do it?" No, they said you were gonna. And I didn't do that. And she seemed surprised by that. Anyway, yeah, and then she's hoping I was distracted by talking to me, and she takes this big machine near my injured knee, and she hits it on purpose without saying she's sorry. I was like, "Don't you ever beat and abuse me again, you bitch." Not. So anyway, yeah, so she hit my bad knee, and it has a scrape on it too, among other many injuries. And then, God, I haven't slept, I think, in almost 2 days. I still have to eat too. Working on all these beautiful videos for you guys. And so anyway, what was I saying? I'm falling asleep talking. Still have to wash my face, brush my teeth. All in due time. So anyway, I haven't eaten one of my retainers all day since I woke up because I keep planning on eating. And okay, so anyway, where were we? Let me think. I don't want to fall asleep on camera. Yeah, I never had a problem with it. This eye has never happened before. Was completely red yesterday. I didn't feel any pain. I was thinking, oh, maybe lack of sleep. I don't know. But I've never had it before. Even after I put in the Visine eye drops, it was all red on the white part of my eye. It's not pink eye or anything. I've never had it, But mostly like under the eyelid I looked, because I was reading about that. It said it's like redness and like it's dry eye syndrome where it's dry under the eyelid. I was like, I didn't know the cornea gets oxygen from the eyelid or underneath the eyelid. But it was more white around the part you can see of my eye. But when you lift it, I was like, wow, that's weird. It looked like a red cloud on my, it was dark red. Like my eye looked kind of pink. And it's weird because this eye is white and fine, but it has a sty on the eyelid. But the inside of the eye is fine. But this one, I'm guessing, yeah, like I say, I don't know if it's from, I'm looking at the computers, like the UV light, or what, not UV, the blue light, the internet. Okay, let me get back to what I was saying. So anyway, yeah, just they're arguing with me, and then anyway, And then the short redhead, she's like pulling the sides of my hair, and so I was taking, so I was taking it. Again, a Harrison Dental copycat, because they're bald and jealous, and then the short old lady with red hair, the white female, she and the glasses. She was like, "Oh well, sometimes the periodontist." She said, "Well, periodontist, if they say, yeah, your bones are too thin on your teeth, you can't get your teeth straightened. Some people." I'm like,